Illustrations by Pete.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to do the state of the YouTube channel address. I'm going to let you know how you're doing. I would like to do this maybe twice a year, where I just share with you where the channel is. Now this is going to be a list of facts. I'm not getting emotional. Here's how I see it. We'll split it 50-50. I will gladly give you all the credit for the positive things on the channel, and I will take all the blame for the negative things on the channel. I think that's pretty fair, but please understand, nothing I say will be a complaint. These are just the facts. Also, I'm going to be doing a blindfold challenge where and I'm not big on challenges, you know that, but I'm going to be blindfolded for 1 hour and draw, and then when I take off the blindfold, and I'm going to continue to draw for another hour, hopefully making something work in that drawing. I want it to be something, but nothing. I want it to look more finished, even though it's just a doodle sketch, abstract thing. And if you notice, the lighting, I don't have a shadow on my face. At least I don't think so. I don't have a shadow on my face. I did get a little better. Of course, I moved the camera to a different place in the room, but I think it's better. It's a little messy over here. And I still, look, no shadow on the side of my face, no shadow. I may have it. This may be where I have to talk to you from, so there's no shadow on my face. Now there's no weird blue light behind me that looks, I think it looks kind of nice, and everything is kind of lit up, and I want it to be a little bit darker in some places, but I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm getting better. I could talk to you with two hands the whole time. It's great. I love it. Let's get into it. Okay, well, I started out here, and look how serious I am. Anyway, I started out here, and I just wanted to do I wanted to see if I could do a drawing blindfolded. And it wasn't a challenge. It wasn't one of those things. It's not an internet thing. It's just something I wanted to try. And then I said, okay, look, I'm going to take this drawing, whatever it is, and I didn't do terrible. It wasn't real bad. It was a good framework. And then I knew what kind of drawing I was going to do over it. I knew what I was going to make out of it. And the idea behind it was that I was going to make just this little like fibrous kind of thing growing. And that's what I did. So that's really all I did here. I think I really hit my stride on the second part of the drawing, when I started to really focus in on what kind of drawing I wanted it to be. In the end, I really enjoyed it. I like it. I think it came out pretty good. For what I was trying to do, I think it came out pretty good. And as far as the blindfold part of it, maybe not. It definitely did not come out the way that I wanted it to. There was kind of that little moment when I took off the blindfold and you see me kind of, well, there it is. And that's just it. I didn't know what to do with it, but it ended up coming out okay. So now we get to the fun stuff. I want to let you know how you're doing with the channel. And right now there are just over 300 subscribers, and that's phenomenal. It's wonderful. And I want to explain this. Why is that phenomenal? I've been doing this for a while, since last November. Why is 300 good? Let me tell you why. Because there are some of you, or with some of you, I am over with some of you. And well, if you don't know what that means, that basically means that I have convinced you to be in my corner somehow. You've connected with me on some level, and you are cheering me on. So basically, if I fell face first on the next video into a mud puddle, and while I was face down in that mud puddle, you'd be behind me clapping and cheering and patting me on the back and telling me I did a wonderful job, even though I fell flat on my face. And that's wonderful. And let me tell you why. Because there are other people right now who have channels that have been started since I've started my channel, and they are well past me. There's someone who has 2,000 subscribers or 500 subscribers, whatever it is. Those people, if you look at their views on their channel, a lot of them will have those, let's say the 2,000 subscribers, and get 45 views. But with 300 subscribers, I have usually, well, in the last few videos, it's been over 100 views just within a couple days. And that's phenomenal. That's wonderful. If I look at my stats, I can see that most of the time it's an even split, or maybe more so, of returning viewers over new viewers, which is great because that means I'm making content that you actually want to watch. And when you develop that kind of an audience, they tend to support you a little bit better, and you're doing a great job with that. You're focused in, and if there's any mistakes, it's probably my fault. So that's why this is a great thing. Now, bouncing around somewhere around getting between 75 and 85 more subscribers per month, depending on when I look at it, what day. If it's a high subscriber day, then that's the day I can look at it and say, oh, it looks like I'm getting about 85 or so per month. And if I go to a low view day and low subscriber day, it looks like it's only about 73, because they just do the last month and it's a moving scale. So roughly right now we're going to hit... we'll probably hit 1,000 or so around March or May. That's the current trend that we are. Good job, everybody. That's a great milestone to hit, and we'll be there soon. Now, here's an interesting metric. So we're currently at 963 watch hours, and at our current rate of about 290 per month or so, we will not hit the 4,000 hour milestone that you need, because you need about 334 per month. So that's my fault. I've got to increase that. Those watch hours have to go up a little bit to make that happen, and I'm going to work on that. Don't fire me. I will work on it, I promise. Also, if you notice, I used to have Amazon links below all the videos, and I have had to remove them multiple times or just switch them out multiple times. I have been kicked off the Amazon affiliate program twice now due to low subscriber numbers, and that was I think the last time I was around 170 subscribers, and they kicked me off. They don't tell you how many subscribers you need to be a part of the affiliate program. They just say, oh, and all the YouTubers say, yeah, you just put the links down there. They don't care how many subscribers you have. Yes, they do, and they've kicked me off twice from it. So that's okay. We'll get there probably around 500 or so. We'll go back up and sign up and put all the links back down there, and hopefully that will help the channel a little bit. Now, on the positive side, we are at the 50 video mark, so that's wonderful. But that's a great job, everyone. Keep up the good work. There's a lot of information on the channel already, but we've got to get some more. We have over 10,000 views on the channel, so that's wonderful, with about 3,000 of it in the last month. So that's pretty impressive, because I want you to think about that. That's about a little less than 1/3 of all the channel views have been in the last month. So the other 2/3 have taken 7.5 months. And that's great. That means that we're going in the right direction. Everybody, we are facing the correct way. We're facing forward. Everyone seems to have their tray tables in the upright position, and we are taking off. So that's wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Now, here's something that's interesting. The average click-through rate for the channel is only about 4.2%, but the last video posted has about 7%, which is great. So we're improving that, and every video that comes out, that metric keeps going up. And I think once in a while, when YouTube shoves that video out in front of a bunch of people, a lot of them, they're not sure what audiences should be looking at it, so a lot of those people do not click on it. It drops the click-through rate, but the views are going up, so that means it's not hurting the channel itself. Also, the last video has higher views, which I've already mentioned. It has a higher view duration and watch time based on all of the videos that are out for the last, that were out for a week. So they do this whole thing where you put a video out and they tell you, okay, based on the same amount of time that your last 10 videos were out, this ranks 1 through 10 on that scale, and this one has ranked number 1, and the one before that is also ranked number 1 for all the ones before that. So we're going in the right direction. Everything is moving forward. We're doing great. here are just some general numbers that also don't mean anything. So 22, there's 50 videos. Let's say there was 49 at the time I wrote this out, so I'm going to knock one off there. So there's 22 videos that are over 100 views. 9 of them have over 200 views. 7 of them are over 300 views. 4 of them are over 500 views. Only 3 of them are over 700 views. 2 are over 900, and 1 video is over 4,000. It's actually closer to 4,200 right about now. So that's really cool. That's the video, no matter what, that's the one that YouTube pushes out to everyone. That is it's strange because it has the lowest view duration of any of my almost any of my videos. It has the lowest click-through rate of almost any of my videos, but that is the one that YouTube pushes out to everybody, and I don't really know why, but it's the one where it's automatic drawing versus doodling. Are they really the same? That's the video that everyone seems to see, and it gets in front of them first. It doesn't have the most. It used to have the most subscribers on that video within a 1 month period, and it no longer does. Some of the other ones do. They've climbed up now, so that's great. Now, I don't know if anything that I just said means anything to anyone. That's above my pay grade. I am not in that office, but to sum up, all the arrows are pointing up, and so I think that you should all give yourselves a nice pat on the back. You are doing wonderful. We're happy. We're gonna keep going a little bit longer. Hopefully you're not firing me now, and I'll keep showing up for work as long as I can, or I should say, as long as you let me. And that's how we're doing. That's where we are right now. Great. So the other thing that I want to say that some of you are probably sick of hearing, but I'm okay with you being sick of hearing it, so I hope you are as well, is that I really appreciate you. And the thing that blows me away the most is that I can do what I'm doing here, and then I get contacted from other people who either have a YouTube channel or a Facebook page or an Instagram page, and I look at their art and they blow me out of the water. It's not even a contest. They're 10 times the artist that I am, and yet they're supporting me, and I want to say thank you to all of you. You're amazing, and I really do appreciate it. And I do have a list. There's a list of people that I'm going to start doing shout outs for, that I'm going to help promote them because they're just amazing. And it's weird to me to have people say that they like my stuff when I look at what they do and they're so much better. And I'll give you one example right now, and I'm sorry that I'm putting you on the spot when I do this. I don't mean to put her on the spot, but there's a supporter, Becky, who watches just about she does. She watches every video. She's been around the channel for probably one of the first subscribers that I had, and she always leaves a very generous comment and just interacts wonderfully, and I really appreciate her. And one thing that she did was she tagged me on Instagram, and she said that she was inspired by me, and this goes back to the gouache painting that I did on the black, or watercolor on gouache that I did on the black watercolor ground. What I did was nothing compared to what she did, and she didn't even have the supplies that I had. She improvised using completely different supplies and got a 10 times better result than I could have. And then, as just an extra wonderful little thing for me, she went ahead and created my own hashtag on Instagram that says, "You must whisper illustrations by Pete every time," with a little happy face. And that made my day when she did that. And so now, if anyone is on Instagram and you want to get my attention, please tag me. And then if you would use that tag, because I'm following that tag, and anyone else who uses that tag, I will try and comment on and at least say something. So I really appreciate that. And those are the kind of supporters that I have, and that's why this is more than worth it. This has been one of the most incredible experiences in less than a year. I've just had a great time. I really love doing this, and I love connecting with all of you and talking to all of you. And I'm going to put Becky's Instagram below, a link to that post, and I would appreciate if all of you would go support her as well. And really the reason that I want so many more subscribers than what I have is so that in the community I can maybe lift you guys up a little bit more if you're doing something, because right now I can only give you a small amount of support, but I would love to be able to give you a large amount of support because some of you are amazing, and I love your art and I love your personalities, and you're just great people. So my goal is to one day have one of you become a world-class artist, become a successful, whether it's an illustrator or fine art or whatever you're looking to do, and just to be a footnote in your book would be more than worth it for me. So thank you very much. Oh, also, I will have, I'm continuing to work on the story that I'm writing and doing the art for the pictures in the book, and I don't want to say when that will be. I don't want to say in the next few months or so, because every time I do that, something happens, something gets in the way of that, and I will not sacrifice this time with you here on YouTube for that. Later on, I can always publish that. So that's going to be, but it's going to be a self-published thing, probably through Amazon. I'll probably have a digital download version as well as a printed version available for some of you who want to buy the actual book. I probably will have a few books that I have here that I might do a giveaway and sign some and give some to you if that's what you want. I don't know if that's worth anything to anybody, but I would like to do it. So I will at least try to do that. And I'll let you know when that happens. I'll do an announcement on the channel and let everyone know when that's coming up. Okay, well, enough of that kind of stuff. This is not that kind of movie. Let's keep it clean, people. Do you think it is better to stick to a schedule and draw every day, or just create when you feel like you're in the mood? I think, this is just my personal opinion, I think you can look at it two different ways. First, art is definitely a skill, and you only get better by doing it. So it may be better to do something than to do nothing. But on the other hand, making it a chore and doing it when you don't want to, in other words, if you're forcing yourself to do it and you're really not in that place mentally, you may not progress as much, or you may not progress at all. I don't know. But you're not really into it. You're not really into doing it. So you're not really thinking about it. Maybe you're not really getting in that frame of mind to really improve. Now, I know I go back to this, but as a creator, I can only speak for myself here. I get excited to create. There are moments when it just bubbles up out of me and I'm inspired by an idea. So I keep a list of things that I want to do in front of me. And when I get that kind of bubbling up, I look at the list, and usually I can look at something and it sparks enough. It sparks something that makes me want to create right at the moment. And I know how saying that, this is your journey with art. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you how to do it. However you decide to go at this is how you decide to go at it. And unless you have a deadline to meet for a client, or if you don't really want to do it, the only schedule I set for myself is to create a minimum of one thing per week, but that's so I can get a video to you, so I can share this with you. But before, I would only create when I was really, when it struck me, when I had the time, of course, because time in a schedule is another completely different thing. Sometimes you have time, sometimes you don't. Depends on what your life situation is. But I'm usually pretty busy, and so before this, I would really just kind of, maybe once a week anyway, just sit down and make some time to draw something, or I'd be doodling while I was doing something else, whether it was at work or whether it was home, wherever, and just sitting on, even if I just sat down for a minute on the couch and just drew, or went outside for a minute and sat outside and just drew. But it depends on your schedule. I know a lot of people don't have that time in their schedule to create, and if you need to, that can be very frustrating. See, I think that it's more frustrating if I have the time, but I didn't do it. Well, have I talked about this before? I don't know if I have. I don't know if I've rehearsed this, because sometimes I rehearse what I'm going to say on a video, or if I've actually said this, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, like I was saying, sometimes it's more frustrating if I had the time but I didn't do anything. I probably couldn't justify not doing something, so I need to work on something and be productive, otherwise I get frustrated. But if I get involved with something like Netflix or a movie, I can lose the day easily. And then, you know, I get a little bit upset at myself for it, because I want to be more productive. So I kind of like that I am more busy and I have to kind of make time for it. I have to kind of wedge it into my schedule, because then it makes me feel like I'm accomplishing more than what I have time for. So it makes me feel good about myself that I'm producing more than I actually should be able to produce. Does that make sense to everybody? But on the other hand, it does create a little bit more stress to create something I'm happy with, because I only have a small window. It's only that small amount of time, that time of day that I really can clear my schedule, that I get to create. So it's a big part of why I have to kind of shift my thinking away from, am I happy with what I just did, and instead looking at the whole thing and saying, is there something on here that I like? Not that I have to like the whole thing. Is there something I did in this whole thing that I've just done that I really enjoy? And this is an example that I liked everything that I did here after the blindfold part. After I did the blindfold, I really went into it and started just putzing around, I guess you'd call it. Doodling is what it is. So I was doodling, and I really enjoyed how this one came out. That's also why I remind myself that in a month or a year from now, I will not care if I liked this piece here. Well, you know, if I like it, I might care that I liked it. But if this was a total disaster, if I had to crumple it up and throw it away, which I don't ever do, but if I had to, I wouldn't care about it in a month from now. Probably would not care about it next week, because it is what it is, and I'd be working on something completely different, something completely new. And but now, since I did like it, I have something to pull to the next drawing, something to pull to the next piece that I do, and say, you know, I really enjoyed this aspect of it. I liked how it kind of intertwined, and I created those shadows, and I did those things, and I like that. So all in all, this ended up well. But I'd like to know your opinion. What do you do? Do you have time? Do you make time? Do you have all the time in the world and it's hard? And that's another thing. I feel when I have a lot of time to do something, I feel less pressure, and I put less pressure on myself to do it. But sometimes I don't even do it, because I have so much time. I can start whenever I want. But if I don't have a lot of time and I kind of have to shoehorn my way in there, then I really make sure that I make that time count for something. I make that time. I clear my schedule. It's nice. It's a nice feeling to say, I'm not going to look at my phone for this amount of time. I'm not going to answer the door. I'm not answering calls. No messages. I'm shutting out the world, and I'm just doing something that I really enjoy doing. That is a wonderful feeling sometimes, and I enjoy that. Well, if this is the second time you've heard me say that exact same thing, that's okay, and I still like to hear from you in the comments below. This is about the end of the drawing here. I've had a wonderful time. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me and spend a little time here. Here's a couple more videos that you might enjoy if you have enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.